Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the homestead. So today is another canning day. I'm going to bring you along with me and show you how you can can your own black beans. So first I get my bag of black beans or whatever beans you're canning, and you're going to put them in a bowl with filtered water. Make sure it's not chlorinated tap water, use filtered water, and you can go ahead and soak these overnight. Once they are done soaking, you can get them in a pot and you are going to boil your beans for half an hour. So this is the next morning and I'm getting my beans on the stove and I'm going to boil them for half an hour. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get my canner ready. So I fill it up to a designated line in my canner and I start to get the water warm. So after the beans have boiled, I am going to get my sterilized jars and I'm going to fill in my beans to 1-inch headspace. So you're going to use the water that is in these beans, in these cooking beans, and you're going to fill the jar with the beans and the cooking water. If you don't have enough cooking water, I just use boiled water. At this point, you can also put in some salt, normally about 1/4 teaspoon. I don't typically do that with my beans because I'll just add salt later. But if that's your preference, you can add salt at this point as well. So again, you fill your jar up to 1-inch headspace, and then you're going to make sure that there's no bubbles in there. So I use a wooden implement and I just poke around in there, make sure there's no bubbles. And then you're going to want to wipe your lid off with a clean cloth and inspect your jar lid before you put your canning lid on, just to make sure that there's no cracks, no imperfections there. So you're going to tighten your lid fingertip tight and go ahead and get it in your canner. So once you've got all of your jars in your pressure canner, you are going to bring it to a boil and make sure that it steams out of that steamer for about 10 minutes to release all the pressure inside of your pressure canner before you put on your gauge. So where I am putting on 15 pounds of pressure. You will need to check your own altitude to see what pressure you need to use on your pressure canner where you are. But for where I am, I'm using 15 pounds. And for my quarts, I am canning these for 90 minutes. If you're using pints, it is 75. So I'm going to wait for that pressure gauge to start rattling before I set my timer. Okay, so after your pressure canner has finished and you're done with the 90 minutes, you turn off and you let it come back down to normal pressure. Naturally, do not open it before it's down to 0 pressure. So I find this takes over an hour to do. I'll leave it for half a day sometimes and just come back and check on it after that. All right, so our beans are done. I've taken them out of the canner and then I also washed them up and took off the rings. So when the rings come off, you can make sure that they are 100% sealed and then you can store them. I don't like to store my canned goods with the rings on because then if it's a false seal or the seal comes off, I will know where if the rings are left on and the seal happens to pop, you might not know because the ring is on and it's keeping it on. Where if the ring is off and your lid's seal fails, then you're going to know for sure. So it's just an extra safety measure that you can use. All right, well, that is it for me for today. If you are interested in canning videos, suburban homesteading, gardening videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.